Probably one of the best critically acclaimed movies on either of our lists. Remember the Titans. Denzel Washington is a high school football coach in the 70s. Tell me about Remember the Titans.
4 of my films are based on true stories. One of the first, the integration of Tennessee football, and Denzel Washington plays the first black coach in basically an all-white high school, very little segregation. And it's bringing the two races together. And it starts out with them taking them to a training camp out of Gettysburg and showing them how to live together and that we're all as one. And I just think about the young actors that came out of that. I think about Kip Pardue was a young actor who played Ronnie Sunshine Bass from California. But you know the one actor is in that film that is a superstar now that had a limited role, a few lines, was Ryan Gosling. And now he's Ken in Barbie. And he had a great role. And Will Patton, who I talked about in the bar, is always a bad guy, but you pointed out he was a good guy in Armageddon. This is a true story. Herman Boone's the name of the coach. It's the name of Denzel Washington's character. It was a real guy. And he took over for Will Patton's character, who was the coach at the time. You know, it's a little bit degrading that, hey, here's a new guy taking my job. I'm a successful coach. And they had to work together. I don't want to give it away, but it's got a great ending. And there's also some heartbreaking stuff in there. It's a true story about what happened to one of the kids on the defensive line. I don't want to give it away, but there's some tragedy in this. It just shows how people come together at a time when civil rights was really an issue.
This is a story, too, that takes place when schools were still, quote-unquote, separate but equal. It takes place at a time of mandatory busing. So when you try and have to combine resources and combine situations, of course there's going to be toes that are stepped on. And in this case, it's who I like to call the, Will Patton, a.k.a. the younger-looking Robert Duvall. I don't think Will Patton's ever played a consigliere, though. So, but yeah, no. Denzel Washington, very powerful performance in this role. I know he's been in other sports movies, but this is probably the one that I think of most when I think of Denzel Washington doing a sports movie. Powerful performances across the board. And Donald Faison and Wood Harris in the film as well. Wood Harris, of course, from The Wire. So definitely a talented cast all the way up and down.